20 real people who changed the world with one small act. 1. Rosa Parks. The seat that sparked a movement. Rosa Parks wasn't the first to refuse to give up her seat on a segregated bus. But on December 1st, 1955, something shifted. Her quiet defiance was rooted in years of pain and endurance. She was tired, not just from work, but from a lifetime of racial injustice. Her arrest triggered the Montgomery bus boycott, led by a young doctor, Martin Luther King Jr. What began as one act of resistance lasted over a year and became the launching point for the American civil rights movement. 2. Jadav Payeng, the forest man of India. 1979, Jadav found hundreds of dead snakes on a sandbar in Assam, India, victims of heat and soil erosion. He was just a teenager. Rather than complain or leave, he started planting bamboo. Every single day, with no help, no funding. Today, his forest, Molai Forest, is over 1,300 acres, larger than NYC's Central Park. It's home to elephants, tigers, and more. Jadav's story is proof that climate change can be fought with quiet, daily action. 3. Irina Sendler, the unsung heroine of WYAA Polish social worker. Irina helped smuggle 2,500 Jewish children out of the Warsaw Ghetto during the Holocaust. She hid them in toolboxes, coffins, even under her clothes. She documented each name in a jar and buried them under a tree, hoping to reunite families later. She was arrested, tortured, and sentenced to death, but escaped. Irina lived in obscurity until students in the U.S. uncovered her story decades later. Her courage saved generations. 4. Ryan Hreljak. The 6-year-old who dug a well in school, Ryan learned that kids in Africa were dying from drinking dirty water. At 6 years old, he started doing chores for 25 cents apiece. Eventually, his small savings funded the first well in Uganda. Ryan visited the village at age 10 and met Akana, a boy whose life he saved. His foundation now spans 16 countries, proving age is no barrier to change. 5. Nicholas Winton, the British Schindler in. 1938, Winton visited Czechoslovakia and saw Jewish families in danger. Without any formal role, he arranged fake visas and foster homes in the UK. He personally saved 669 children, most of whose families died in concentration camps. For 50 years, he told no one, not even his wife. A BBC reunion show in the 1980s revealed the truth when every audience member turned out to be one of the children he saved. One man, one train ticket at a time. 6. Malala Yousafzai. The girl with the pen. In Taliban-ruled Pakistan, education for girls was banned. At 11, Malala began blogging anonymously for BBC Urdu. Her words became a global window into oppression. In 2012, she was shot in the head by a Taliban gunman but survived. Her recovery became global news, and she used her fame to launch the Malala Fund, helping girls around the world access education. In 2014, she became the youngest Nobel Prize laureate. 7. Dashrath Manji. The mountain man, his wife fell and died while crossing a mountain that separated their remote village from the nearest hospital. Instead of grieving silently, Manji picked up a hammer and chisel and worked for 22 years, carving a 110-meter-long road through solid rock, alone. His road cut the distance from 55 kilometers to just 15 kilometers, giving generations access to healthcare, markets, and education. 8. James Harrison. The man with the golden arm. James donated blood weekly for 60 years. Doctors discovered his plasma contained rare antibodies that could treat Rh incompatibility, a deadly condition for newborns. His blood donations helped save over 2.4 million babies. James didn't have a medical degree, just a habit of showing up. 9. Brandon Stanton, Humans of New York. He started by photographing strangers in New York with a simple camera and curiosity. He listened deeply, capturing raw, powerful human moments. His blog went viral, and his platform has since raised millions for education, surgeries, refugee causes, and individuals facing unimaginable hardship. A hobby became a force for global empathy. 10. Zach Sobich, Singing Through Goodbye. Diagnosed with terminal cancer at 14, Zach turned to music. He wrote Clouds as a farewell to his family and friends. The song exploded with millions of views and national airplay. Celebrities made tribute videos. After his passing, his family founded the Zach Sobich Osteosarcoma Fund, which raised over $3 million for cancer research. One song, Endless Echoes. 11. Anaya Ellick. The girl without hands who won a handwriting contest born without hands, Anaya shocked the world when she beat out thousands of students to win a national penmanship competition in the U.S., writing with just her arms. Her story went viral, inspiring people of all ages and abilities to overcome what seemed impossible. 12. Ken Nwadike Jr. The Free Hugs. Guy Ken's response to hatred wasn't a protest, it was a hug. Dressed in a Free Hugs t-shirt, he attended violent protests in the U.S. and offered hugs to both police and protesters. Videos of him de-escalating tense moments went viral, reminding the world of the power of human connection. 13. Julia Butterfly Hill. The woman who lived in a tree to protect a 1,000-year-old redwood tree from being cut down. Julia lived on a small platform 268 feet up in the branches for 738 days. She endured storms, harassment, and isolation. Her small act of civil disobedience helped preserve the forest and awakened a new generation of eco-activists. 14. Betty Williams, the housewife who won the Nobel Peace Prize. After witnessing the death of 3 children in Belfast during the Troubles, Betty began organizing peace marches. She wasn't a politician or a soldier, just a mother who'd had enough. Her grassroots efforts earned her the 1976 Nobel Peace Prize, showing that peace can start with grief and a clipboard. 15. Mohammed Bzik, the man who fosters terminally ill. Children in Los Angeles, Mohammed Bzik has dedicated his life to fostering terminally ill children, those no one else would take in. He offers them love, comfort, and dignity in their final days. One man, one home, changing the way we define compassion. 16. Boyan Slat, the teen who tackled the ocean's plastic problem at 16. Boyan gave a TED Talk about how to clean the ocean using floating barriers. Skeptics laughed. A decade later, his non-profit, the Ocean Cleanup, is actively removing tons of plastic from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It all began with a school science project. 17. Liz Murray. From homeless to Harvard-born to drug-addicted parents, Liz was homeless at 15. But she studied in subways and on park benches, eventually earning a scholarship to Harvard. Her small act? Never giving up on education. Her story became a best-selling memoir and an Emmy-winning film. 18. Tony Rinaudo, the forest maker and Australian agronomist. Tony discovered that trees could regenerate from old root systems in the Sahel Desert. Without planting a single new seed, he helped revive over 200 million trees across Africa using a method called FMNR, one forgotten technique, global restoration. 19. Om Prakash Gurjar, child labor survivor turned reformer forced into child labor at age 5. Om escaped and later worked to register birth certificates for thousands of children in India, so they couldn't be trafficked or exploited. His grassroots effort won him the International Children's Peace Prize. 20. Derek Kayongo, from refugee to global soap recycler. After fleeing civil war in Uganda, Derek noticed how much soap hotels in the U.S. threw away. He started the Global Soap Project, which recycles hotel soap for distribution in areas with no sanitation. Millions of bars later, his idea is saving lives. Final closing thought. These aren't just inspirational stories, they're templates for impact. Each one shows that you don't need fame, money, or perfection. Just awareness, intention, action. You might not change the whole world, but you can absolutely change someone's world.